neighborhood, or you got a grandson or a son who's around to help you sort of navigate through some things that might be a little harder for you to understand, or just, someone might be clearly taking advantage.
That's true.
is investigating, leading them to this latest sentence.
Mr. Jones, at the time of this sentencing, had already been prosecuted by myself on May 15, 2025, on 2 other counts.
He's now facing an aggregate 20-year sentence and more than $289,000 in restitution.
The only way to stop the assault on our community was for him to be incarcerated.
So we reached out to the AG's office, asking why the AG's office didn't impose stronger penalties last year and what he can do better to avoid future reoffense.
So when we realize that the behavior is criminal and not just some permission of our business, I think the process is
Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office doesn't just focus on prosecuting violent crime. The office also committed on protecting older adults here in the city. And to continue our conversation right now, we're joined by City State's Attorney Ivy Bates. Tell me a little bit about this initiative right now, and I'm wondering where it's focused. Is it some of those phone calls that some of our elder citizens get from people scamming?
Yeah. So basically, it's interesting. Sometimes you're out there campaigning, talking to individuals. A woman named Sarah Matthews, talking to her, and she gave me so many insights about what's going on for older adults. We decided to put together an older adult division, and there's so many things we want to do, but right now, because we're a small division, we focus on the economic crimes that older adults have been victims of. You know, my division chief, Sherry Green, last week, or earlier this week, had a phenomenal conviction. She convicted a gentleman who was basically scamming, taking advantage of 15, 16 older adult families. And basically, he was an unlicensed contractor, taking their money. And so he had done this before. She convicted him. He had a number of small convictions. He was doing 3 years. Came back this time, about 15 victims. He was convicted, given 20 years in prison, $300,000 restitution. So we're really focused on that. A lot of this came about, this is what we're about to do again this year, September 18th at Martin's West, we'll have an older adults luncheon. So we bring older adults from the community just to talk, to find out what's going on with them. And this has been phenomenal. You know, it's the type of thing that last year we announced this case, and this year we can talk about how we've been successful in the prosecution of this gentleman.
I heard one of the victims, we ran that story, to hear the amount of money that he went through just to correct the problem was a lot. What are some of the tips that you give some older folks out there who might be vulnerable? What should they be doing if they feel like they end up in this kind of situation?
Well, if it's a contractor, make sure you reach out to the Maryland Contract Association.
Okay.
Make sure that they're licensed, because this gentleman was not licensed. Make sure that they're bonded, because if they're bonded, then you can make sure that if anything goes wrong, you can sue them and get your money back. Things like that are so important. Make sure if you need to, reach out to our office so we can find out if this is an individual that has a criminal record, if it's an individual who can help you understand what's going on, and make sure you have a written contract.
And also, I'm guessing if you have some folks in your neighborhood, or you got a grandson or a son who's around to help you sort of navigate through some things that might be a little harder for you to understand, or just, you know, someone might be clearly taking advantage.
That's true. One of the things we always say, reach out to our office, the Economic Crime Division. We're here to help you. We understand the issues that older adults have. If there's a situation that we can't help you, then we know where we can send you to the direction to get additional help looking at that. But please make sure there's a written document, a written contract, and make sure you get the receipts to show what you've given your money to. And ask that contractor, are you going to place my money in escrow until this job is finished? Don't give all your money up front, and things like that. Make sure that you think from a business point of view, because this is a business. We're finding a number of these older adults, this is their life savings. And so we want to make sure that this house is an important investment, that we protect you so that you have that house that you want in your later days.
All right, we're not going to talk all crime today. We'll talk
decided to put together an older adult division. And there's so many things we want to do, but right now, because of a small division, we focus on the economic crimes that older adults have been victims of. My division chief, Sherry Green, last week or earlier this week had a phenomenal division.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I'm good.
Taking their money, and so he had done this before. She convicted him. He had a number of small convictions. He was doing 3 years. Came back this time last year. He was convicted with 20 years, $200,000. A lot of this came about. This is what we're about to do again this year. September 18th at Martin's West, we'll have an older adults luncheon. So we bring older adults from the community just to talk to find out what's going on with them. And this has been phenomenal. It's the type of thing that last year we announced this case, and this year we can talk about how we've been successful in the prosecution of this case.
I heard one of the victims. We ran that story. To hear the amount of money that he went through just to correct the problem was a lot. What are some of the tips that you give some older folks out there who might be vulnerable? What should they be doing if they feel like they end up in this kind of situation?
Well, if it's a contractor, make sure you reach out to the Maryland Contract Association.
Okay.
Make sure that they're licensed, because this gentleman was not licensed. Make sure that they're bonded, because if they're bonded, then you can make sure that if anything goes wrong, you can sue them and get your money back. Things like that are so important. Make sure if you need to, reach out to our office so we can find out if there's an individual that has a criminal record, if it's an individual who can help you understand what's going on, and make sure you have a written contract.
And also, I'm guessing if you have some folks in your neighborhood, or you got a grandson or a son who's around to help you sort of navigate through something that might be a little harder for you to understand, or just, someone might clearly taking advantage.
That's true. One of the things we always say, reach out to our office, the Economic Crime Division. We're here to help you. We understand the issues that older adults have. If there's a situation that we can't help you, then we know where we can send you to directions to get additional help looking at that. But please make sure there's a written document, a written contract, and make sure you get the receipts to show what you've given your money to. And ask that contractor, are you going to place my money in escrow until this job is finished? Don't give all your money up front and things like that. Make sure that you think from a business point of view, because this is a business. We're finding a number of these older adults, this is their life savings. And so we want to make sure that this house is an important investment, that we protect you so that you have that house that you want in your later days.
All right, we're not going to talk all crime today. We'll
Good morning, good morning. If you're at the resource tables, do me a favor. We got to get started so lunch can be served on time. I know you don't want to just have your salad. You want to get to the main course. So in order to do that, we have to start our program. You'll have another chance to go back to the resource table. Please report to your seats. Please report to your seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning. Everybody back to their seats. Can everybody take a seat? Wonderful, wonderful. Good morning. All those who are at the resource tables, they have their own seats. So if you'll step away from the resource tables, they can also take their seats. Thank you. Thank you. You need to go to your seats. We're going to start serving soon, so we want to get the program started. Thank you. Boy, I am happy for this abundance. I'm excited about you being here today. Look at these people. Look at your faces. I got a whole triple ballroom full of wisdom. Ain't that right? I got a triple ballroom full of wisdom. If I sat down with any one of you and said, tell me what you learned, you could teach me a whole lot. And look, I already hit 63, but I still got a long ways to go. I was just out at the mall yesterday, and a lady was waiting on me. She said, I'm 76, and I try to have joy every day. How many of y'all agree with that? You're going to have joy every day. Yeah. I had to remind myself of that when I go to get up in the morning, and my knees and my back want to stay laid down. And so when we have a mental argument about how we're going to go through the day, I always win. But sometimes it takes about 5-10 minutes of argument. And then I go about my business and have some joy. I want to start by just thanking you all for being here. Once again, you just amazed myself and Mr. Bates at how fast our reservations booked out. We only could keep it up for a short period of time. But we are so grateful for your support, so grateful for you coming out to see us today. I'm looking and seeing beautiful hats, I'm seeing beautiful dresses, I'm seeing gorgeous faces. And I thank you. I thank you so much. You don't know what it means to us. We have a very small unit in the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office. My name is Sherry Green. I am the Division Chief of the Economic Crimes Unit and a second unit called the Older and Disabled Persons Unit. That unit has two missions. Number one mission is to go out into the community and help to educate as many of our citizens as I can how to protect their finances from other predators that are out there. But my second part of what I try to do is find out if there's reasons why somebody needs assistance in our community. Just right here, we found some people who have reported once we've gone out and talked to them, and we have followed through. I'm so happy to report that this time last year we had several indictments, and at this point we have already logged convictions and jail time. Our victims, 90 years old, 79 years old, 69 years old, received justice. But we're still continuing to fight the fight to keep our older adults safe and secure. The goal is that you should have quality of life right in your home. You should have peace in your home, and you should have the delight of using your own money the way you want to use it. And nobody else has the right to take your money and use it the way they want to. And so because of that, we've just indicted 2 new cases recently where there were family members and ex-co-workers who stole pensions and stole life savings. And that was not their money. It was not their right to have it. So we are still fighting the good fight, doing what we can to make sure that you and your resources in your home remain safe. I want to thank Mr. Bates for this opportunity to serve in this capacity. We also prosecute cases, so when you're calling, you may not get me. I may be in court. But I am so grateful that I have a director of the Older Adult and Disabled Persons Unit who is able to take calls on our help phone line and through our email line. In the program, at the end, you will see those contacts. You're going to see a lot of information today. If you don't get it all, don't worry. I'm going to be having our IT team to put a lot of it up on our website so that you can download that information and get the resources you need. Everybody in place? At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Bates to come to the podium and introduce our keynote, for his remarks and to introduce our keynote speaker this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. How's everybody? Can you hear me now? All right, thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here. And before I introduce the keynote speaker, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, I want to thank Sharon for this kind introduction. And it is truly an honor and a pleasure to welcome all of you to our 3rd annual Older Adult Luncheon. Let's give everybody a big hand. I'm generally humbled by the fact that the first year we did this, there were about 300 people. Last year we were here and there were about 600 people. This year there are almost 1,000 people in this room. So pray for us next year. I want to thank all the sponsors, everybody who contributed, everybody who gave money. I want to thank you for being here, for listening, to being a part of this process. And I want to thank a couple other individuals before I say a couple other words. I want to thank State Senator Carl Jackson, State Senator Dahlia Tarr, Delegate Jackie Addison, Delegate Regina Boyce, City Council President Zeke Cohen, Councilman Mark Conaway, Sheriff Sam Cogan, Registrar of Wills Belinda Conaway, Clerk of the Court Xavier Conaway, former U.S. Attorney Eric Barron, former Mayor Jack Young, Patrice Sanders, Armstrong Williams. I also want to thank my father who's here with me today. As many of you know, I would not be able to be here, be in this position without him, the guidance, the tough love. Trust me, I had a lot of tough love. I want to thank our Inspector General. I think Isabel Cummings is here as well. I want to thank her. And I just want to take the time to just say thank you to everyone. You participated in this worthwhile event. And some of our other partners are the Baltimore City Police Department, Baltimore City Health Department, Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office, External Affairs and Victim Witness Division. If you're part of the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office, why don't you stand up real quick? We definitely could not have done this job without the hard work and dedication of men and women of that office, of our office. also thank the Center for Hope, the Baltimore City Department of Social Services, Circuit Court for Baltimore City, the Maryland Department of Aging, Maryland Department of Labor, Office of Financial Regulation, Maryland Transit Administration Mobility, Maryland Legal Aid, Maryland Relay, Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Services, Maryland Philanthropic Network, Mayor's Office of Older Adult Affairs and Advocacy, Office of Attorney General, Medicaid Fraud and Vulnerable Victims Unit, Office of Inspector General, the Renaissance Center, Senior Legal Services, and the U.S. Postal Inspector Services. That's about true partnership when you bring everybody together for us to be here today. So thank everybody. And lastly, I want to thank Chief Sherry Green and the ODPU Program Director, Angel White, for their amazing work. Angel, why don't you stop and wave to everybody? You know, woo! You know, our older adult disabled unit, they worked many, many hours, took calls, they've done more work than you even know. And I want to say thank you and what an amazing job you and your entire team have done, Ms. Green, or Chief Green. You know, as we remember, we've known each other a long time. We were law clerks together tonight. I'm not going to tell y'all how totally old I am. Let's just say tonight. You know, and life is often defined by memories, the memories that we've had, the good, the bad memories. And you know, so often you think about positive things. For me, I think sometimes the first love I ever had, Dad, be quiet, we're not going to talk about that while we're here. But one of the memories that I have is when I moved to Baltimore in 1995, I moved because my mother, who's deceased, asked me to come to Baltimore to take care of my aunt, Aunt Eddie. She lived 11 West 20th Street, Van Story Johnson building. And when I think about her, I think about the commitment that I made to her, that she was going through. I got to see what it was like for her to be an older adult to live in those buildings. I got to understand how she was afraid to get on the elevator to go downstairs because three of now, the case came into our office, our witnesses, made sure they understood that we had their back, made sure they understood what was happening in that process. So in doing that, they participated in the problem. The first thing that happened with the juvenile was that they tried to send this juvenile back to the juvenile system. And that did not work, so we had a judge that said, no, I'm going to hold you accountable. The next juvenile had to face, i.e. the court, the judge, and that judge sent that juvenile to jail for the next 10 years of their young life. So one of the things that you see is, even though that case did not go through the ODPU division, it still went through our office. At the end of the day, our office, the entire state's attorney's office in Baltimore City, is fighting for you, the older adults. And that gives me a couple things I want to talk about. Let's talk about juveniles and juvenile crime. So, many things I ran on, but when it comes to juvenile and juvenile criminal issues, that's been a hot button topic. When I ran, I talked about in 2023 what was going on. I went down to the General Assembly and tried to figure out what was going on, how we could fight, what laws we could have. There was one state senator, back then they were delegates. There was one delegate that said, you know what, I hear what you're saying. And my community, they feel the same way. I'm going to work with you. We're going to draft legislation, and we're going to take this legislation down to the General Assembly. And it was taken by not only the General Assembly, the members, but the governor liked a lot of those bills. The governor, the chief, the head of the House, the head of the Senate, they all decided to get behind the legislation. They took it from this one state senator. And many of the laws that you see that have changed, this state senator was the leader of that process. Right now, I would like Senator Dahlia Tarr to stand up so we can acknowledge the hard work that she did. Thank you. So with this process, you have to have partnership to make real change. And Senator Tarr has been that partner for us time and time again. Now I want to ask a question. By show of hands, how many people believe that juveniles who commit murders, robberies, rapes, have handguns, should have their cases starting out in the adult system? If you believe so, raise your hand. Now, the reason I ask that question is simple. Because everybody asks, what can I do for you, Mr. Bates? And it's simple. This year, the legislation, from my understanding, there's going to be a bill to now change the law to have all juvenile cases start out in the juvenile system. Now, I'm not totally opposed to that if there was going to be accountability for young people in the juvenile system. But unfortunately, the juvenile system right now is a mess. There's no accountability for young people. So the one thing that I would ask you is, because election year is next year, when people come and ask for your vote, ask them where they stand on juvenile crime. And if their view isn't what your view is, think twice before you make that vote. Because for us to continue to keep you, the older adult, and everybody safe, we have to have rules, we have to have accountability. Now, I'm not saying that juveniles should not be in juvenile system, but right now we do not have a juvenile system that's able to handle the juveniles that they have, let alone more juveniles later. One of the things I also want to talk about is victim witness. For us, when you look at the cases and we're able to have more convictions, the whole thing is we could not do this without you, the people who have been victimized by crime. By show of hands, how many people here have ever been a victim of a crime, known a member of your family a victim of a crime, or suffered anything? Show me your hand, please. So, one of the things that I did when I became state's attorney, first was creating ODPU, but I also reached out and hired a woman named Amanda Grantham from Baltimore County. She has changed the way in which our office reaches out to victims and witnesses. Now when an incident happens, my office tries to be more responsive. For instance, if you are a victim of a crime, or say you're a witness, and that witness happens to see something with a murder, and you go down to the police station and make a statement, oftentimes you're afraid, you don't feel that the whole world will find out. You know, we have that stop snitching culture. What we've been able to do is we have the money now to talk to you, to move you, your family, to keep you, the witnesses all safe. That's something we didn't have before. We have to thank Governor Moore for giving us that money to do that, and our office has put the victims first. For us, it's simple. When you think about crime, do you remember what I said January 3rd, 2023? When I told individuals to pack their what? Their what? And for us, we focused on that. Packing your toothbrush has been focused on those violent repeat offenders. Those are the individuals that are robbing, those are the individuals who are shooting and stealing and killing members of our society. Right now, we have our lowest homicide numbers ever. But for me, that's not enough. We have to really focus on quality of life crimes. Those are the crimes that make people want to move. Those are the crimes that people don't feel safe. So while we've done some work, we still have a lot more to do. And at the end of the day, the one thing that I, the State's Attorney for Baltimore City, want to promise you that you will always be priority number one for myself and our office. You know, the biggest gripe and complaint I get oftentimes is that you just want to lock people up. It's not that. You want to lock up people that look like yourself. It's not that. I do not ever take pride in locking up anybody. But the hardest conversation to ever have is with the person who's lost their loved one. The hardest conversation to have is to have your aunt call you crying because she was a victim of crime. For me, it's going to always be simple. You will always be first in the minds and the hearts of the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office. And I just truly thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to be your state's attorney. I thank all of you for being here today. And next year, we're only going to make it bigger and better. But enough from me. Let me really introduce a person who I have admired for many years. But before we go there, I've been reminded that I please have my pastor, Patrice Sanders, come on up and please bless the food for us.
Every head bowed, every eye closed. Lord, we do give thanks for this day and all your manifold blessings. We thank you for this great and grand occasion, the adult luncheon. Now we ask our richest blessings upon the food that has been prepared for the nourishment and strength of our bodies. Bless the hands that prepared it, the hands that shall serve it, and even the bodies that shall consume it. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Well, now I'd like to introduce a person who I've admired for a long time. You know, I was in college, I had dreams of wanting to be on television one day. However, for about the past 21 or 22 years, this sister has been greeting us every morning on Fox 45. She's been a constant reminder of community. I've watched her interview all types of people, and she always keeps her cool. I've watched her pick a lot of good Raven victories and always been on point. There are many great things you could say about Patrice Sanders, but I would like to say, first of all, she's a phenomenal person. She's also a phenomenal mother, a phenomenal wife, and our main keynote speaker, Patrice Sanders from Fox 45.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. I don't know what time it is at this point of my day. It is very good to be here today. You all look absolutely amazing. We talked about this event on the air this morning, that this was happening. We mentioned that I was going to be here, and my co-anchors, Tom and Megan, they wanted to joke. They said, well, does that make you old, Patrice? I don't don't know. I turned 53 this summer. I think age is a state of mind, and I feel good. And I think anytime you're up and moving, that is a... In a room full of blessed people, you all are my tribe. I want to say thank you to the state's attorney for inviting me and for all that you and your team do. And I had a chance to just talk to a couple of them, but I thank you for all that you all do for Baltimore and the people of Baltimore, the people that live here, that work here. The hard work and effort that goes into helping to make sure the city is safe and thriving. We just want you to know that it is appreciated. I do have to say, though, that I'm a little bit surprised that he invited me here today. Because, you see, I've had the state's attorney on my show for my pigskin predictions. You all know this is where we do the football picks for the week to see who's going to win. And I have to say that I beat up on him pretty bad. So I'm glad that he is gracious in defeat and invited me here today anyway. And actually, he's coming on again next month. So let me just say, get ready, because I'm going to have to take you down again. Okay. All right, enough of that. I'm sure his people don't want me talking about him today. They actually said they wanted me to come and talk about my career and my journey. So let me just spend a few minutes doing that before you all get back to your lunches. I have been in Baltimore for 22 years now. You all have watched me grow up here. I met my husband here on the air, Monty Sanders. A lot of you know him. He was Ray Lewis and Ed Reed's trainer while they were in the league. They still train and work out and do things to this day. We got married, we got pregnant, had our daughter Naomi. That's what you all have watched her grow up. She gets recognized when we go out. One day I was actually out at a store without her, and a lady came up to me, and I thought she was going to say, "Are you the news lady?" Because, you know, that's what y'all call me, the news lady. But she said, "Are you Naomi's mom?" And I just had to laugh. Yes, I am Naomi's mom. But I can't tell you all how much I love and appreciate the support that you all have always shown me when you all come up to me and say, "You're my girl, we watch you all the time, we love you," or "Hey, play cousin." I love that. I count it all joy. Even the young adults, when I go to schools and colleges and they come and say, "You know, my mom watched you growing up. We watch you all the time, and now they watch." I just count that all joy. Your purpose isn't what you do, it's the impact that you have on others when you do what you do. So I thank God. And I could not do any of this without God. He has been the guiding, protecting force in my life for my whole life. My mom was a teenage mom. She was just 15, as was my father. My mom is white, my dad is black. Her parents did not approve of that. And so when they found out she was going to have a baby, they didn't want any parts of a brown baby. And so they wanted her to get rid of me or put me up for adoption. But my mother's values weren't their values. And she knew that I was hers, and she was going to have me no matter what. So they put her out, and she went to live in a shelter. It was the St. Anne's Shelter for Women and Children right outside of D.C., and that is where she was when I was born. It wasn't her family. It was the kindness and the heart of strangers and others that lifted her up and were there for her at a time that she needed it. Now, my mom and my dad didn't work out. They were young. But, you know, that's still my side of the family. I grew up with my dad's side of the family. My mom got married. The dad who raised me, I have a brother and two sisters. And I had a wonderful upbringing. My mom worked at a law firm. My dad was a teacher for 38 years. So we weren't rich, but I didn't know that. I had love and everything that I thought that, you know, we needed. My childhood was very happy, and it could have been so much different. Had her parents had their way? Not at all. But God. I grew up in PG, right down the road, and from a young age, I knew that I either wanted to be a lawyer or in journalism. I love to debate and discuss. Not my husband's favorite quality, I have to say, probably. I also love storytelling and writing. And the idea that stories could give context and understanding to people and ideas. I went to a performing arts high school, and so I ended up in journalism. And I moved all around the country. My first job was at ABC News Nightline in D.C. with Ted Koppel. And then I went on to Boston and California and Pennsylvania. And I'm sure you all may know the story of how I ended up here in Baltimore, because my station runs this piece a lot about how I heard there was a job opening in Baltimore, and I came in what ended up being a huge snowstorm. So driving from Pennsylvania to Baltimore and then back to Pennsylvania, which is usually, 1 hour each direction, was like an 8-hour journey because I was stuck in this snowstorm. But I got my tapes to the news director. A couple days later, she called me and I had the job, and Baltimore became my home. I started working at Fox 45 in March of 2003. Now my days at the station, they start very early. I get up at 1:30. I'm at work at 3 a.m. And I have about a 35, maybe 40-minute, well, really it's 35 because I speed a little bit, but we're not going to tell you about that. Nobody out there but me and the police and the deer. So I have about a 35-minute ride to work. And in that time, I'm usually listening to a sermon, or that's my devotion time. It's my prayer time to start the day. Because I don't have to tell you all, this world can be beautiful, but it can also be hard. So I have to let God be the first voice that I hear. I have to let that get into my spirit before I get to work and deal with whatever the news of the day brings. I get to work, I look over the news, I look over the scripts, I change up scripts, I write some things. I go on the air at 5 o'clock, so I head into our makeup room at about 4:30 so I can get ready. Usually I come to work in my sweats and my hat, so I go in the makeup room at 4:30 so I can quickly do my hair, put on some makeup, get dressed, and then run out to the set. And when I'm in the makeup room, that's another chance for me to get inside my bubble. I have my gospel music on, and I just say, God, use me. Let me be a light for someone today. And then I'm on the air, 5 a.m. with a smile on my face, hopefully bringing a smile to someone's face who's watching that morning to get their day started. And sometimes that's not easy depending on what the news is. And I have a face that expresses everything that I'm feeling. There are times when my husband will text me, say, fix your face. And some of those times come after I have interviews with your award recipient today. He's not here for me to mess with him, but we have some good conversations some days. But some days, it can be hard to fix your face because of all the things that go on in our world. They leave you angry. They leave you sad. They leave you drained sometimes. We just are seeing that again now. We saw it last week carrying over into this week. The world is divided over politics, over the way that the divisions in our world and politics are covered, who gets grace, who does not, who gets excuses, who's vilified. Everybody's arguing and fussing at each other, with each other. Nobody's listening to each other. And sometimes that just feels overwhelming. And you just want to talk about it all day because that is what is at the forefront. Again, but God. I don't believe that you all came here today to just complain and argue and fuss. I think that you and I are all here because we believe in the possibility of something better. Amen. Barack Obama said, hope is that thing that inside of us, that insists beyond all evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits. If we have the courage to reach for it, to work for it, and to fight for it. And sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that, encourage ourselves. At least I do. So let me tell you how I encourage myself on those days. Number one, you can't change other people. Some people are going to believe what they want to believe and do what they want to do, and there's nothing that I can do about that. My father used to tell us growing up, don't let someone else with a problem cause you to have a problem. And that's a hard lesson, though, if you think about that. That was hard for me growing up. Because me trying to argue with someone when their mind is clearly on how they want to perceive a situation, that is the recipe for a problem. So I have to actively practice that. I can't let someone else with a problem cause me to have a problem, whatever that may be, and in any sense that that could be. All I can do is stand on what I know and let my life speak for me and be a reflection of what I believe and the goodness that I want to see in the world. Number two, practice gratitude. This is something that my husband preaches in our house to our daughter. You have to focus on the good. And what you focus on grows. And how many of us don't need more good in our lives? So focus on the gratitude. I have a healthy family. I've got food on my table. I've got friends and community that keep me grounded. It was a blessing to get up this morning and to get here on my own will. So focus on the gratitude. And number three, I know that when God shows me favor, that's not about me. Blessings aren't supposed to stop with us. They are supposed to flow through us. I'm supposed to give all of that back, put that back in the world. And it doesn't have to be big. Sometimes we do nothing because we feel like whatever we're going to do isn't going to be enough in the face of whatever the problems are. And there are real problems and injustices and challenges. And it's true that not one of us can fix all the problems in the world, but all of us doing our thing that matters, that is enough to make a difference in the world. I can't fight crime. I can't fix crime. That is the state's attorney's job. But given my beginnings and the help that was shown to my mother when she was at that shelter, and then after having my own daughter and understanding very deeply the love that mothers have for their children and that they want to do anything and everything they can do for their children, no matter the circumstances, that now gave me a passion to be able to do what I can for women and their children. So I go back to that shelter. I talk to those young mothers. I talk to those children there. We just did a pop-up shop at that where I reached out to all my professional friends and women, my network, and I said, bring me the clothes that you don't wear anymore. So we went and we did a pop-up shop there so that those women can come and shop for free so they can get the clothes that they need to go out and do their interviews and to get a job and to just get a leg up. And we make sure those children have toys and clothes and items for them and just a party just to pour into those women to let them know that they matter, that we see them, and that where you are right now does not have to be where you stay, because even if your circumstances and the people in your life weren't there for you, all of us, we are. You have a village of people that care. That is how I contribute. That's how I keep myself grounded and believing in a better future. And maybe those reminders and that encouragement might help somebody here. But the truth of the matter is, you all have been doing the work for years. You all have been paving the way. We owe you a debt of gratitude for all that you've done. Now, at some point, you all might want to sit back and say, I've done my part. It's time to relax. I want to enjoy my life and let somebody else handle it. Yes, but there's no time to not live in your purpose. We still need all of you here. The state's attorney put this event together because it is our time to advocate and support you. We owe you nothing less than that, but we still need all of you in this room. Because the truth is, when the world feels as chaotic as it is the steady hands that come with the experience that you all have that is invaluable. You've weathered decades of change. You've seen all the things that we talk about in the news. You've seen social movements rise. You've seen economies fall. You've seen technology change. We've gone from the rotary phone to the 18 billionth version of the iPhone. And you all are still here. You're still showing up 1,000 deep. So give yourselves a hand for that. You all have more than earned your place at the table. You all have the experience and the life lessons that these TikTok influencers can't teach us. We got to get that from you all. You all are the storytellers, the mentors, the connectors. You all show us and remind us that dignity, kindness, and responsibility, all of that matters. It feels sometimes like we are living in uncertain times. But you know what uncertain times create? Opportunity. Opportunity for change, opportunity for courage, opportunity for connection, and always opportunity for our purpose. And as long as we're all still here, we still have work to do, no matter what form that takes. And if we all do that, if we all do our part, no matter what that is, then maybe the next chapter will be our greatest one yet. So I'm going to leave you with this. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. Live intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. So thank you again for inviting me here. Enjoy your lunch. Eat all of the dessert. You all enjoy it. Thank you so much. Thank you to the State's Attorney.
We're going to let the serving of lunch begin. We've already had our dining experience blessed. We're going to thank Martin's West for holding off, and we're asking them to go ahead and have the servers begin serving. Please do not move through because the servers are going to be moving quickly and they need the aisles clear. We will continue with our program while you're being served. Anybody need a break before you need a tip out right now? Tip quickly, so that they can begin serving. Remember, if they don't see anybody at the seat, they may not put your dinner down. Okay? We don't have long, okay? All right, I believe they're going to begin serving now. I want to just follow up with a few remarks. I want to thank Patrice Sanders for being here. I never got a chance to meet her in person before today, but I can tell you that it feels like a kindred spirit. As she was leaving, I said to her, when she said her daughter's name was Naomi, it has a deep meaning for me, that name, because during one of the darkest times of my life, I was reminded that the word Naomi means my joy. And I began to thank God that He can take what is bitter and change it to joy. And He encourages us to understand that He is the author and finisher of our faith, and He is the one that can make things that don't seem possible, possible. At this time, while you're enjoying your lunch, we have some entertainment for you. We have Isaac Parham. We know Mr. Isaac, right? Those are more, I think, Morning Stars here, right? But Mr. Isaac is very well known, a recorded artist, a saxophonist, and a man of faith. We're so glad he was able to be with us today to give you some entertainment while you dine. Please enjoy. remember, we're going to need the aisles clear. There's a lot of standing. Not going to be able to get our dinners in. Give our servers an opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hope you all are enjoying yourselves. My name is IsaacParham.com. We'd like to thank you for having me. I'd like to thank Angel for having me here today. And as always, I'd like to thank my wife for having me and putting up with me. And I see my Morning Star family in the house. Always good to see y'all. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm gone. Chucky in the house.
Let's give a hand for Isaac Parham. Beautiful. Thank you so much for the serenade. Really enjoyed it. Wonderful, wonderful. How's your meal? Everybody been served? Anybody need a plate that didn't get a plate? All right. Now, we have a couple little housekeeping things. See this gentleman right here? He has some tickets to hand out. We are having some drawings. We have some nice little gifts to give out. We couldn't give out to all 900 people, but we have a few to give out. So please raise your hand if you didn't get a ticket, one of the little tickets. They've been walking around giving up tickets. If you didn't get one, if you work for the state's attorney's office, you don't get one. But we have a few little nice gifts to give you. So just raise your hand. One of our team will come out and make sure you get a ticket. At this time, we will proceed with our program. And I'd ask that Mr. Bates would come and join us at the podium to introduce another guest speaker that is going to share with you his story and give us his comments and encouragement.
How's everybody? That's good, that's good, that's good. Let's give a big round of applause once again to Sherry Green and her whole team to put this together. You know, I could not be more honored than, you know, one of the things that you learn in life is there are people that come across your path. There are people who you meet at different stages of your life. See, I remember when I was a young student at Howard University back in the 90s. HU. And I remember I came across a gentleman, and we talked, we debated about life. We talked about what was going on in the future. You know, Howard University is one of those universities you're wondering about what's going to happen within the black culture, black community, black diaspora. We talked about the general world. And little did I know that that person I had that conversation with was also going to later be a mentor, a friend, and a person in my life that I could reach out for advice, friendship. But then you also realize that he's not only being a mentor to myself, he's also being a friend and a mentor to a gentleman whose name is Wes Moore as well. So I want to now introduce our next speaker. For me, this is a person who's been a friend, he's been a mentor, he's been a person that I've looked up to. His name is Armstrong Williams. I'll tell you a little bit about Armstrong Williams. Armstrong Williams is not just one of the owners of the Baltimore Sun, but he's been a mentor and a friend. Armstrong Williams also is the largest minority owner in the United States of television stations. That includes females, Latinos, Black. In the United States of America, he owns more television stations. Armstrong Williams writes a syndicated column every Wednesday and Sunday that's in papers around the world. Armstrong Williams has been a leader within the black community and a leader within the entire world. He oftentimes is advocating for us in the papers and on television that we don't even realize. He's been a friend, he's been a mentor, but now it's very important to understand when it comes to being one of the owners of Baltimore Sun, he's a hands-on owner. He's an owner that if something's going wrong, you can pick up and let him know what's happening in the community so he can be your voice. And we haven't always had that. So without any further ado, my friend, mentor, person that means a great deal to me, Armstrong Williams.
You know, I want to make sure that everybody that needs to talk, finish your conversation, because I'm not going to compete with you. So whatever you do, finish the conversation.
me. Excuse me. We thank you so much that you're enjoying yourself. And we thank you so much for coming today. But we spent a whole year in planning this program, and we really just need you to keep the conversations a little bit lower right now so we can respect our guests and he can share with you, because he didn't have to come. And he's doing us the favor of being here with us and sharing, and we just need to show that same courtesy. I know you didn't intend it, because this is a big space and you may not have noticed that we started the program. So if we can keep the noise down, lower your conversations, maybe cut them off for a little while, we'd be so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's not a favor. It's what my parents called me as respect. That's what that is. The same that I give. Respect is very important in our culture today. It is. I want to thank Ivan Bates, who does an incredible job to keep communities and families safe amidst criticism, but he is really an incredible human being. I consider him a brother. And also his top lieutenant, Hassan Giordano, just a wonderful human being. And I am honored to be here today, and I will be brief. You know, let me introduce, also I want to introduce someone from my staff who has been my chief financial officer for the last 15 years. I've never known anyone more smarter when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to finances, and just, it's amazing what happens when people are educated and they're given an opportunity. Let me recognize my chief financial officer of all our companies, Brandon Ponder. You know, as the owner of the Baltimore Sun, I have a very simple philosophy of every day, is that I can be wrong. That is my simple philosophy. No matter what I've invested in my ideology, my school of thought, and my way of thinking, it is the truth in life that I seek. And the Bible tells us you seek the truth, and only the truth can set you free. And freedom and truth does not come from man. It comes from God. That is what true freedom and truth is. And it is a monumental task managing and running a newspaper every day. But one of the things I think that all of our employees at the Baltimore Sun will tell you is that I strive every day to be fair, to be balanced, to be even-handed, and to always be a referee and not a coach. Because everything in the realm of our coin is about trust. All you have is your credibility. All you have is your word. All you have is your name. And one of the things that my parents gave me growing up in South Carolina with 8 brothers and 2 sisters was a good name. That may not mean much to people today, but a good name meant everything to me, because you will never meet my mother and father, but when you meet me, you meet my parents. And in the best department of health, education, and welfare I had growing up was my mother and my father. And so I pay homage to the root of that tree. Though my parents are deceased, those branches continue to spread. I've never in my life have had a run-in with the law. I've never in my life, because of my parents, smoked any kind of drugs, ever been exposed to any kind of alcoholic beverage, beer and wine, ever tasted it in my entire life as a tribute. Now, I did a lot of other things, but I did not do that. So let me get clear. I'm a sinner like everybody else, seeking the Lord's forgiveness. I have something to pray for 24 hours a day. But let me be clear, out of tribute to my parents, and I've never in my life used one word of profanity. Only English is what I speak, because that is what I was taught. And that's a tribute to my parents. And the reason why I, as a boy, as a teenager, as a young adult, and now as a man, have never been involved with crime. I never, ever, ever wanted to shame or embarrass my parents, ever. I never wanted my parents to have to come to get me out of jail or to get me out of trouble. And though they sleep, that eternal sleep, their lessons that I can still hear ringing in my ear, still ring today, because character matters. Integrity matters. Honesty matters. It matters. I don't care if you're left, right, conservative, liberal, Republican, or Democrat. I only believe in one thing: your word, your character, and whether I can trust you. Trust has nothing to do with your color. It must be earned like everything else. And I must tell you, this part will shock you. I've never, and don't ask me why, in my life have ever experienced racism or discrimination. Or if I did, I never acknowledged it. It has had no impact on my steps and my journey to success. Because my self-esteem and my self-worth and my value supported in me and what it took during my education to be a better person every day. And so as we talk about strife and divisiveness in this country, that's not all of America is. There are decent people every day raising their children, serving God, struggling to keep his commandments, wanting to be good people. The world is not lost as long as there are good people. And I meet good and decent people every day. And sometimes what we must do, we must tell that good story of everyday people doing well. And I have such a soft spot in my heart, and I don't want to say you're older. I see you as wiser and youthful and knowledgeable and experienced. You've lived. I like to sit at your feet and learn and draw from your experiences, because I don't need to learn through my own. I learn through the mistakes that others have made. And life is a struggle. But everything is about the choices that we make in life. And so I'm so honored to be here today. I would encourage you to subscribe or buy the Baltimore Sun, but that's your choice. You make that decision. But in all that things that are said and done, the things that gives me greatest joy is that I sleep very well at night, because how I treat people, to me, people are the same. Doesn't matter your socioeconomic background, doesn't matter your zip code. What matters to me is that you were created by God in his image, you're a child of God, and therefore, you're my brother and you're my sister. Because it's how you treat the least among us is what really matters. And so for me, I've seen the daylight breaking through the bow. I found my destination, and I made my vow. And whether you deride me or whether you ignore me, mighty mountains loom before me, and I can't stop now. We all must find our purpose in life to make the world better, not more divisive. We must find the good. And that good is what you do that really matters. And what that is, I still believe in those 10 commandments. Because they were commandments, they were not suggestions. Though they're being treated as suggestions today, I still believe There's a righteous way and there's an unrighteous way. And I still believe that whatever man does in dark shall come to light. So in all that I do, what matters to me is what I do in the end, is how I serve God. My blessings come from my struggling to live. And listen, the hardest work I do every day, 24 hours a day, is working on Armstrong Williams. That is the toughest work that I do every day. And I find that when I work on Armstrong Williams 24 hours a day, at the end of the day and the next day, the world is a better place. We're so busy focusing, working on everybody else, that we forget to work on ourselves. And so I say to you, as you raise your children, they need their fathers. Fathers are so important. I cannot imagine what my life would have been like without my father and my mother. I never had strife and conflict with my mother and father. So therefore, I have no conflict in my life, except the normal things that we have to deal with human beings. Because what is poured to you as a child, what you see as a child, is what you always have within you when you become adult. It is so important what we pour into our babies, what our babies see, what our babies hear, what our babies watch, what our babies are exposed to. You have more control and more say-so in what your child becomes if you find the time to give them what they want more than anything else, just your simple time. And so as I close this out today, I'm just so humbled to be here among so many people, some that I know, some that I'll never know. But just know, we're all in this struggle together. We may have come here on different boats, but we're on the same ship now. And either we'll sink together or swim together. And I say, swim with me to that promised land. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I appreciate you for standing on your principles and applying them and setting an example. It isn't that all what we need is some examples to follow. When we're going forward, we need to know which way to go. And sometimes we find ourselves in new territory without a clear map. But it's those who stand for what they believe and are consistent in season and out of season that help us to find a clear and plain path, that we might understand what next to do and how to do it. So I appreciate you giving your time, Mr. Williams, to be with us and address our community today. Before we go on, I just wanted to acknowledge some of the event partners that are here today. We have the Baltimore City Health Department, Aging and Care Services, Police Department, the Center for Hope, Circuit Court for Baltimore City, Maryland Department of Aging, the Maryland Department of Labor, the Office of Financial Regulation, and Maryland Legal Aid, Maryland Relay, Maryland Transit Administration, Mobility. Anybody use mobility in here? Have any questions for them? Make sure you stop by to see them. Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Services. If you need a will, if you need a legal issue resolved, you as a citizen of Maryland with certain income restraints, if you're retired, you probably meet those constraints, will be able to receive those services for free. Reach out to them. The Office of the Attorney General is here. Senior Legal Services here. That is another agency by the Baltimore City Bar Association. They provide services to Baltimore City residents, I believe it's age 60 and over. If you need help, if you need assistance in either a will, a power of attorney, to revoke a power of attorney, to get a property issue resolved, call them and make your appointment. The Renaissance Center from Morning Star Baptist Church is here. You know, we are just now in certain communities acknowledging the value of addressing mental health. And we thank God for the long history and the vision of the Renaissance Center through Bishop Dwight C. Debnam and Lady Carla Debnam, because they were very forward-thinking years and years ago and creating the Renaissance Center so that there was a place where people in their community could receive mental health care. And we also have the U.S. Postal Inspection Service here. And we know that there's a lot of fraud through Postal Service, and people are often have trouble with their mail being stolen, their bank card being stolen through the mail. And the U.S. Postal Inspector is on it, trying to stop some of that fraud. At this time, we have, you've been at your table for a while. Got your dessert. So, sorry about that. So at this time, is Teresa Reed in the building? Teresa Reed in the building? There she is. Teresa's going to come and help us to stretch. You know, sometimes we'll get the blood flowing. Shake down that salmon and chicken a little bit. Make room for the dessert. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. We got to keep the circulation going. Teresa, you do need a mic? Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. While they're working on it, I want to thank God for allowing me to be here, number one. And number two, if we're talking about our purpose and stuff, mine is getting people healthy, especially older adults. I have my own business, Fit for Life Personal Training in Pikesville, Maryland. So when they have the music ready. Or you can stay in your seat, but do something. Okay? All right, I see you over there. March it wide. Now reach up. Now punch it down. All right, you all looking good down out there. Your health is your greatest wealth. Now shoulders back. Now shake it. Heels, heels. All right, you might need a little room for this. Pony, hold down. Come on. Come up. Move. Let's move. Twist. Move that body. You only have one tempo. You gotta take care of it. Come on, get those. If you can. You sitting in your chair? Move in your chair. to know I celebrated 71 years. Yes. Your health is your greatest wealth. Come on. Shake it. Take those arms back. Make sure you got room. I'm on Facebook. My name is Fit Lady One. Fit Lady One. Punch the dance. Shake it. Twist. Move. Y'all looking real good. All right. Side to side. Come on. Move. Put a smile on your face. We woke up this morning. We're here today. Thank you for inviting me. Come on, let's go. Move. Shoulders back. Shake it. Come down a little bit. Can you go a little bit more? You got it. Come on. Punch. Shoulders. I can do this all day. Move that head. Come on. Cha-cha a little bit. Side to side. Oh, y'all give it up. Come on, give it up. Don't stop yet. Come on, we all young. Up here. Push down. Down. Up. Down. Come on. Pulse it. Let's go. Y'all got it. Y'all got it going on. Visit me. FitForLifeOnline.com. All right. I think that's enough. Thank you. Your health is your greatest wealth. And guess what? I'm right with you all. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Miss Reed, Miss Teresa Reed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From Fit for Life. That's the goal, right? Fit for Life. Told you we had some things going on in here. All right. I'm gonna need us to quiet down and let the heart rate go back down. I'm gonna give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I still can't hear We had a lot of groups that came out this year and made reservations for their table together. And we want to thank all of them and acknowledge them. So when I call out your group, please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. We have Allendale, 16 reservations for 16. We have Abundant Life Towers. These are the senior houses. There we go. And we have 2 Abundant Life Towers. They had 2 tables. Bel Air Edison Silver Angels. Where are Bel Air Edison Silver Angels? There they are. There they are. We got Bolton North. Yes. We have Chase House. There we go, Chase House. We got the Housing Authority for Baltimore City. They had a whole table of 10. And then we have Mary E. Rodman Senior Program. There they are. There they are. We got Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I think that is this is the delegate from the elders. Is that it? What do you call it? Centurion Club? What do you call it? Senior Club? Mentors. Okay, I knew there was a name. You had to tell me. So we thank the Omega Psi Phi, Mr. Bates' fraternity, coming to support their frat brother and support our efforts. Parkview Apartments at Cold Spring. There we go. We got, they had 20 folks coming today. Sarah Matthews and friends. Miss Matthews brought her team. There they are. And we have Seniors on the Move. Woo! Then we have Stadium Place. Where's that? There's Stadium Place. And they had 18 signed up. And the Waxter Center, we heard from them earlier. They came out in force. We also had a lot of the churches in the community to sign up. Huber Memorial Church, Pastor P.M. Smith, Morning Star Baptist Church, Bishop Dwayne C. Devner. Them my folks. New Metropolitan Baptist Church, Pastor Richard Dickens. New Psalmist Baptist Church, Bishop Walter Scott Thomas Jr. and Senior. Shiloh Christian Community Church, Pastor Jimmy Baldwin. 64 strong over there, my Lord. Southern Baptist Church, Bishop Dante Hickman. Southern Baptist has been with us all 3 years. We thank you for that. We're not the only ones, but I remember because Bishop Hickman has come every time. Village Baptist Church, Reverend Zolly Bagby. All right. Now, then we also have Macedonia Baptist Church, Maryland Centenarians Committee. You have anybody from the Maryland Centenarians Committee? They make it? Edmondson High School. You there? St. Mary's Outreach Center. Bethel AME Church, Reverend Patrick D. Claiborne. And I think I said Edmondson High, class of 66. And let's see. So we thank you all for making your reservations so that we can set your tables up and be ready for you when you got here. I am going back to those Silver Angels. Where are the Silver Angels again? We have a special thing going on with the Silver Angels. Our little birdie told me that you have a magnificent leader that does amazing things, keeps everybody organized, keeps everybody on top of things. We're going to ask Mr. Bates if he's in the building. Did step out? Oh, there he is. He's with the Waxer Center group. Well, while we're waiting on Mr. Bates, we will go on to another part of the program and other announcements. I have a few more. One of the things, we have a couple of special guests here. One is at our table, to my right in the front, table 7. I'd like them to just wave when I call them out. I've been fortunate enough to add to my team. When we first started the unit ODPU, we had no attorneys other than myself. A year later, Ronald Newman joined us, so Ronald Newman is here today. And I want to tell you about Ronald Newman. He pretty much volunteered to come work for us and share his experiences as a seasoned attorney dealing with banking and finance. And he won a very significant case just this year, in which we had announced last year a young lady stole cash from her 91-year-old grandmother. Her grandmother was deceased by the time we were able to bring it to trial. But the judge was, I want you to know something. Can you hear me? I feel like I'm yelling. Can you hear me? Okay. One of the things I want you to know is that we've had some very, very positive response from our judges that sit on the bench in Baltimore City when it comes to financial exploitation of older adults. We have not been trying those cases that much in the last 2 to 3 years. So when this unit was formed and we were able to start taking these to trial, we weren't sure how we would be received. But we thank the bench because in the case that Ronald tried, the judge was very understanding of what we were saying. The granddaughter had a power of attorney that allowed her to go to the bank, add her name, and make withdrawals. Power of attorney does not mean you own the money. One of the things the judge reminded this young lady of is that if that money was not yours to have. At one point, the young lady said, well, what was my grandmother going to do with it anyway? And the judge's response when it was her turn to speak for sentencing was, it doesn't matter. She took the cash, took it in the street and burned it. It was her money. She said, the gall that you had to take your grandmother's money when it wasn't yours to take, and to just use it frivolously and really have no excuse to explain what it was you did with it. There were other members of the family, including the deceased daughter and other children that should have inherited that money. But also, what if the grandmother had taken a turn in her health and needed extra care? That was her money to care for her. But you chose to take the money and spend it on yourself. She took the money out $5,000 at a time at a drive-through ATM. But yet when Mr. Newman asked her, did she remember doing that, she cavalierly said, that was over 3 years ago, I don't remember it. And he said, you don't remember holding $5,000 in your hand? She said, no. I don't know about you, but I don't hold $5,000 cash in my hand every day. I think I would have remembered it. Not only did she do it once, but she did it over and over and over again. And at the end of the judge's statement, the judge sentenced her to 18 months in jail. And she left there in handcuffs. She never thought that she would be jailed for that. She never thought that anybody would call her out for that. And she has done everything she can to appeal it, to go to early parole. And the parole board just this week turned her down also. So I want you to know, people think, oh, nobody's going to care what happened to me. Nobody's going to care that I lost this money because I made the mistake. I trusted the wrong person. And I want to encourage you that just like you, we are all human beings. Each of our speakers that came today, I'm sure you didn't know the story that they told you about their own life and how life began for them. We all have a story. Even the judge said, I had to fight for an aunt. That power of attorney was taken away and it was being abused, and I had to fight until we could get it back for her. We've all had those experiences. So the bench is sympathetic and understands. More importantly, we and the attorneys in my unit, we understand, and it's worth fighting for. So if you think that you have a relative that is being isolated and not allowed to come to church anymore, not allowed to take calls anymore, nobody sees them anymore, everybody sees their car being driven by someone else, check on them. Find out what their condition is, because they may have trusted the wrong person, and now under undue influence, their world has gotten very small. And we as a community have to look out for one another. At this time, I'm going to ask, we're going to have a discussion. We wanted to have an opportunity when we do these lunches. One of the feedbacks we got is that you'd like to be heard a little bit more. You'd like to be able to talk about some of the concerns you have, not just talked at. And I know this is a long day, but we have so much we wanted to share, and I appreciate you sticking with us. 1 minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring up some other members of my office, because as Mr. Bates stated earlier, I can't do it all. My unit can't do it all. I introduced Mr. Newman. We also added a new attorney, Farrah Kavanaugh, who is here. Farrah Champagne. Why did I say Kavanaugh? Farrah Champagne. Farrah, raise your hand. She just joined us. And some of the team that checked you in was part of my team. Back there at the table is our paralegal, Miss Janae Pearson. Off to the left somewhere, wave your hand, is Octavia Parker. Somewhere. And Angel White, of course. And then there's Ray Yost. Where's Ray? He was here helping us out. And Darlene, of course, Caldwell is our, look, I'm starting to fade on names. I should have ate more. Darlene Caldwell, our secretary. And of course, Franca Fauntleroy is another investigator in our office. So we are now up to 3 investigators, a paralegal, and our admin. And they do a lot of number crunching all year long. At this time, I'm going to ask also members of the SBU division that deal with family violence to come up. I'd ask for acting Division Chief Jennifer McAllister to come up. I would ask for Kathleen Kopsky, Team Captain of Special Victims Unit at the district, to come up. I'd ask Justin Dickman, the Chief of the District Courts, to come up. Amanda Grantham to come up. She is the Chief of the Victim Witness Division. You may have heard Mr. Bates refer to her earlier. And I'd ask my 2 attorneys, Mr. Newman and Ms. Champagne, to come up as well. Ms. Waller, are we ready to play our video? All right, I'm going to need you to quiet down because I want you to be able to hear this film clip. We have Ron, we have chairs right here. I wanted to show you a clip from a movie that came out. Some of you may have seen it, some of you wouldn't have. It's called The Beekeeper. Anybody seen that movie, The Beekeeper? But in the beginning, it touches on some of the fraud schemes that attack us online. And I think a visual is really good, and I think Miss Felicia Rashad, a seasoned actor, did an amazing job showing us how it can impact all of our lives, because we all think it's not going to be us. Okay. If you're at the resource tables, I'm going to ask you to take your seat for a few minutes so that we can have our panel. They will still be here when we wrap it up. If you're at the resource tables, I'm asking you to take a seat. All right. We're going to go ahead and play. Look at one of the screens closest to you.
Boss, got something? Yeah? I got one. I want it. I need it. Hey, put it in my ear. Get this fucking hippie shit down, please. United Data Group, good afternoon. This is Boyd. How may I help you?
Boyd. Hello. I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Don't you worry. The message you received is from our United Data Group antivirus software. It's part of the software package you reinstalled in your computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a computer person. What did you say the name of your product is again?
You actually have an older version on your account, so what I'm going to need you to do is uninstall that and install the latest version.
I have no idea how to do that. My daughter set up everything for me.
Well, I would recommend you take your computer to an IT specialist. However, keep in mind that you will lose all your data since they'll have to replace the hard drive.
I'm pretty remote out here. Computer.
Okay. There is actually a software package that you download that would allow me to reinstall remotely.
All right. Tell me what to do.
Okay. Can you type this? friendlyfriend.net. Spelled just how it sounds.
Okay, I'm there.
And there should be a button on your screen that says install. Can you click on that button?
I clicked the button.
So you're about to see some windows open and close on your desktop as I reinstall VirusShield for you. Okay, I hope you fucking clowns are paying attention. Stick to the script, but not so much that you sound like a goddamn robot, all right? She has got 10K checking, life insurance annuity, Roth IRA, teacher's pension, and holy fucking shit. All right, she is a signatory on a $2 million account. Some fucking charity. All right, kids, let the script mining begin.
Ooh, my computer's going crazy.
Totally normal. Just do not touch your keyboard. Because of this inconvenience, I'm going to credit back your subscription fees. How about that? I've gone ahead and deposited $500 into the account ending 020.
Oh, that's not my account. That's an account that I manage.
Can you log into that account and verify the transfer, please, Ms. Parker?
Yes, there's a transfer of $50,000.
Set the hook with sympathy. Ms. Parker, I made a terrible mistake. I was supposed to credit you $500, but I know I got a stuck key here. I got kids. I got fucking kids.
I will need a different password, though. 1 second.
This is the master password for all her accounts. Okay, so the second we get it, we zero out everything.
You know, I think I should call the bank.
You know what? You're probably right, but there goes my job. And there goes all your data.
Pictures on this computer. Okay.
Oh, fucking yes! That is what I'm talking about! Come on! Let me fucking hear it! I fucking love these people! I fucking love you!
Hello? Hello? You still there?
I just heard from one of our attorneys saying it happened to family members. Anybody ever seen this, heard about this? And we all think it's not going to be us. I played it because sometimes if you see it, even though that sound was a little off, even if you see it, it sometimes helps you understand what's going on and how it's going on. I wanted to just give you an overview. Need mine first. Overview of some of the types of frauds that are going on. That's one of them. We talked about that before. But also, I've always reminded every one of these lunches, one of the things I always tell you is what? Get your credit report. Get your credit report. And you might think, I'm not borrowing anything. That's not why you need your credit report. You need your credit report because you need to make sure nobody else is using your name. You need your credit report to make sure nobody's borrowing anything in your name. I have victims right now who have had cars financed in their name without their authorization. I have victims right now that we are investigating who have had credit cards and bank accounts open in their name that they did not open, that they did not know even existed. Get your credit report. You can get it every year, once a year. Get your credit report. Anything that does not look like an address you lived at, anything that looks like a new account that you did not apply for, dispute it so that you can protect yourself. Because what the financial institutions look at is, did you respond? Did you do anything about it? If you don't do anything, then they think you're agreeing to it. And any money you lose, any debt that's created in your name, you start getting calls from debt collectors, you're not going to be able to get your name cleared from it because now you're tangled in it. Next. There are all types of imposter scams out there. And one of the key things about the imposter scams, next, is that the scammers try to convince you that you're with that they're with the government or a business that you'll recognize, or they fake their caller ID to you. I got phone calls from Amazon. Anybody get a phone call from Amazon? That's not Amazon calling. How would Amazon know your number? I never gave them my number. They try to tell you that they work for, the old one was the utilities. That you owe a utility bill and you better pay it right away, right? The scammers give you an employee ID, a badge number. They'll give you anything that makes it look official. You ever get emails that look real official from the IRS? It's probably not from the IRS. The only way you'll know is if you go online or you call directly to the IRS. Don't use any of the phone numbers listed in that email. Do your own separate verification and call to make sure it's not you. And the other thing is they will send you official looking letters. Next. They will always give you something that says that you're owed a refund and we didn't send you the right refund. If you click here and give us your information, we'll take care of it. Click on nothing. Say it with me. Click on nothing. Don't click on anything. If you have to click on it to get where you need to go and you didn't start the transaction, don't click on it. That's always the key, right? Next. There are all types of scams. Some things will be deliveries to your home. Anybody ever got an Amazon package that was empty? That's one of the scams. Anybody got a package from Amazon that you didn't order? Okay, if you get a package from Amazon that you did not order, sometimes on the label it'll say, this is the number you can call to confirm this delivery. If you have questions about this delivery, call this number. They just want to fish for your number and your information when you call they're going to say, well, let me confirm your address. Let me confirm the spelling of your name. Now they've got your personal information. And now they can use your ID for other further scams. On the video that I showed you, it showed what appeared to be Americans that were at a nest of scammers, but often they are international. Often they are in Pakistan, they're in India, they're in other countries. And what you must understand is many times those people also are under duress to make those calls. And their families' lives are in danger if they don't make those calls. It's another form of human trafficking. So the way to protect yourself from those kinds of scams is to make sure that you hang up, you delete, and block. Next. Things only a scammer will say. You have to do it now. You can't wait. This is going to expire. It has to be addressed now. Everything is an emergency. What's the old saying? Your emergency is not my emergency. Right? Remember that. There's no emergency. We have some victims who have been victimized because they were told they won a lottery or a prize, but they have to now pay the fees for immigration, or not immigration, fees for from import fees. They have to pay for transportation fees. So if they only send the $300, they can get the $20 million that they want. Scam. Next. Next. There's nationwide now only one credit bureau number that you have to call. That has changed. It used to be you could call any one of the 3 bureaus and they would get you all 3. Now there's a centralized number. All of this information will be on our website. There were too many guests today to print out that many. We wanted to save some trees, but you can get the information. If you don't like to do it online, you can call our office, and limitedly we will try to mail it to you if you need some information. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask Justin Dickman to come up, the division chief of district court, to sort of just share with you what happens when you file a complaint at the court commission. Anybody ever have to file a complaint with the court commissioner? How many have had your car broke into? How many of you had somebody steal something from your front lawn? Damage your property, spray painting it, breaking things up. Those petty crimes, often the police come, and you might even know from your Ring camera who did it. The police will tell you, you have to go to the court commissioner to file a complaint. So we thought it was important enough for you to find out how we can do that.
Can everyone hear me okay? No, not even close. Better? Okay. Maybe I thought. Okay. Good morning, everyone. When Chief Green asked me to speak to you all today, I got incredibly excited because I got the opportunity to share how wonderful the state's attorney's office is, and specifically our district court unit that works tirelessly to help out in all sorts of different crimes. So I'm going to talk to you today, and I call this From Crime Through Conviction. So unfortunately, in your life, you may come across a moment where you're a victim of a crime. And if we could get to the next slide, please. In those moments, do not call me, do not call the state's attorney's office. I am personally a coward. I will not go out there and help you. I am not the one you want to call. Our men and women in blue, they're the heroes. They're the ones you call 911. They will respond to your emergency. We only get involved after the fact, for the most part. So after 911 and the police arrive, I'm going to give you a couple quick tips of how to talk to the police officers when they arrive, because in those moments, there's stressful moments in your life. You're a victim of a crime. You set out about your day and you were not expecting to be put in this situation. Know that you need to try to remain calm. Know that when a police officer arrives, you will be on camera. So please smile, recognize that you're on camera, and when you're on camera, on body-worn camera, that evidence, that's a video, that will be turned over to a defendant or defense attorney, and it might be used in a trial if the case goes to trial. The next, please. You're also going to get a lot of documents. As prosecutors, we seek truth, we seek justice, but we need documentation, we need evidence. So there's many different types of evidence that you're going to come across that we're going to need as an office to successfully prosecute a case. One of the first things you're going to get when you come in contact with law enforcement is this card, a victim contact card. That card will have what is called a complaint number on it. It will have the officer's name. We need that information as prosecutors to help make sure that we have all the evidence in the case to help prosecute it. Next slide, please. There's also a lot of other different types of evidence that we might need. If you go to the hospital, we may ask for medical reports. There might be witnesses that witnessed it. You might have a camera, your cell phone. If you had injuries, you might have taken a picture. If you have damage to your property, you probably are getting you're replacing the item or getting a repair order. All of those things you need to maintain, retain, and get ready to give it to the prosecutor when you come in contact with our office, because those are the tools, those are the pieces of evidence that we need to seek justice on your behalf. If we get to the next slide, please. Now, when law enforcement comes, they have a decision to make. They are not always going to arrest the defendant. Even if it happens and they have good evidence of it, they are not always going to make an arrest. And that is where you have to be your own self-advocate. They might direct you to go to the commissioner's office. And on the next slide, please. There are 4 different commissioner's offices. You can go to those commissioner's offices to file what's called a civilian statement of probable cause. You can do your own self-help and take out charges on a defendant if the defendant is not arrested on scene. And that is when our office comes into play. Yep. And if we could go back one slide, please. On October the 14th, the Shillman Courthouse is opening up on Calvert Street. And that is a brand new courthouse. It's a beautiful courthouse. And the commissioner's office is moving to that Calvert Courthouse. It's called the Shillman Building. That is a new building. The main headquarters for the commissioner's office will be there. That is the office that is open 24/7, no matter what. The other 3 district courthouses are still great places to go, but they are only open during the regular business hours. So after you go to the commissioner's office, they are going to give you a form. If we go to the next slide, please. That form directs you to contact our office. You will have only a few business days to contact our office. You can do that via phone or via email. We have an entire team called the Civilian Review Unit. They are going to instruct you to schedule an interview, and during that interview process, we will call and conduct an interview over the phone. This is our first opportunity to talk to you. This might be several weeks after you've already been a victim. You're probably very anxious to talk to us. So please, it's important that you communicate with us and that you have all of your documents ready. If you do not call our office or schedule an interview, your case may be dismissed. When we call you and we set up this interview, please make sure you have all these documents that we talked about. That's video, photographs, repair orders. And we will be instructing you of how to get that to us, because we need those pieces of evidence to successfully prosecute your case. The important thing is, if you don't get it to us timely, you are putting your case at risk, because we have a discovery process in which we need to give our defense counsel evidence. And if we don't get it timely, that evidence may not come and we may not be able to use it at trial, or you may create an unnecessary postponement. Now, cases take time. Your case through the criminal justice system is not going to be resolved the very first court date. We always say the wheels of justice grind slowly, but our office, the state's attorney's office, is going to fight for you every step of the way. And that may take several postponements, it may take weeks, it may take months. Hopefully we're not talking about years though. But we will be with you side by side, helping you at every interval as your case progresses. Now, as the case progresses, jail is not always our first avenue. We don't always need to involve jail in our cases. There's many different avenues we can utilize to resolve our cases. We have several different programs. We have a lot of great restorative justice programs in problem-solving courts. We have an adult recovery court, which is a drug treatment court. We have a fantastic veterans treatment court that we utilize. All of those programs can help get you back to where you were before you were a victim and address the needs of the defendant to help prevent recidivism and make sure that the issues that the defendant was facing that caused that defendant to initially commit a crime in the first place might be addressed. Those might be things like drug use. Maybe he broke into your home or she broke into your home because of a drug use issue. And those programs are there to help make sure they get their lives back on track and then can be productive members of our community going forward. If we go to the next slide, please. All right, one of the big things that we look for when we try to help seek justice is making you, the victim, whole again. That includes restitution. Restitution means a whole lot of different avenues. If something was broken, we can ask for restitution from a court order from the judge to get our restitution, to get you payments. When they give you a payment, that may be over a course of several months, but hopefully we want to make you whole again. It could be things such as lost wages, travel expenses, medical expenses. We are looking to try to get you back whole again. And it's important, if we are doing this, that you retain all of your receipts and documentation, because that is what is expected. If you are out $1,000, we need to document that. We need to produce it to the court so that the court can make a proper order to give you your $1,000 back in a court order. Next slide, please. Some of you raised your hands when you were asked if you've ever been a victim of a car theft or your vehicle being broken into. Please know that if your car is stolen and you receive citations for the moving violations like a speeding camera, or you get parking tickets while your car is stolen, you are not responsible for those fees. Do not pay those fees. You are not responsible for them. There's information on our website and on the slides of who you can call to make sure that those tickets go away and they will not be your responsibility. Additionally, if your car is towed, you are not responsible for the towing costs to pick up your vehicle. So please make sure you are not paying those. Make sure you are getting a police report. Bring it to the towing company. In the police report, that should release your car to you without owing any money. Next slide, please. All right. As we work through, I said the wheels of justice grind slowly. That may be you end up in a trial. And again, in a trial might be either in front of a jury or it might be in a bench trial in front of a judge. But it is important that you have good communication with us so we can do trial prep and get you ready for that moment so we can seek justice and we can work to get you your justice in the form of a guilty finding. And again, if you are a witness or a victim, you might have to testify in court. Next slide, please. If we are successful and we get a guilty finding, you have the right to give a victim impact statement. This is your opportunity to talk directly to the judge. This is your opportunity to tell the judge how this crime has impacted you, how it's impacted your family, how it's impacted your wallet, and how it's impacted your community, and what you would like to see happen. This is your right, and we encourage you to utilize it. It's important for the judges to hear directly from you how this crime has impacted you, your loved ones. So please take advantage of your right to give a victim impact statement, and it is your opportunity to do so. You could do that orally to the court, or you could put it in writing and have it read to the court so that it could be on the record that way. I already talked about how long this might take, so please be prepared to get lots of phone calls from my office, my team. We do call you on the weekends. We're not paid to work on the weekends, but we're going to call you on the weekends because we care about you, we care about your cases, and we want to make sure that we can get justice on your behalf. So please be prepared to make sure we have good contact information. You're picking up the phone for us, and that you are in court when we tell you to be in court, so we can prosecute a case and get justice for you and for the community. And on the last slide, just some members of our team that if you find yourself in court and if you need anyone, these are the supervisors. We have an incredible liaison team, victim coordinators that will reach out to you. Our individual prosecutors will reach out to you, and we will make sure that we have good communication so you know what to expect as your case progresses through the system. And with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll turn it back to Chief Green. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. One of the things that is happening, if you missed anything, there's so much going on today. We got so many people. I remind you that we are live streaming this to the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Facebook Live. So if you want some of the information that you didn't get, you can always go back and replay some of that. That's one way. I think Fox is live streaming as well. So there are other ways that if you can't hear, you missed something, the presentations that we are giving, we're going to extract the contact information and the key points and put those on our website under the Economic Crimes and Older Adult Disabled Persons Unit section so that you can go to one place to find out all the information we wanted to give you. We didn't want to send you home with stacks and stacks of papers because it may not apply to you right now, but we want you to know it's out there in case you want it. How many of you heard him say, if your car is stolen and there are parking tickets with it, do you have to pay? That's key, right? I don't want to pay nobody else's parking ticket. So I think that one is a key takeaway, right? If you need to file a complaint, the police came, but you later found out enough information you can file charges, go to the court commissioners. Now, and did you hear about the new courthouse that is opening up? Okay. I didn't know that till the other day. I've been having my head deep in my work and missed out that it was opening. So that is coming in October 14th, new courthouse. At this time, I would like to ask for Kathleen Copsey to come forward. One of the things I want to make sure you know how to do, anybody here ever had to file for a peace order? Anybody ever had to file for a protective order? So you might say, well, I'm not a victim of domestic violence. My partner and I, we get along fine. But what about if there's somebody else in your house that you can't get out anymore? And they are starting to threaten you. Sometimes that happens to older adults. It can be a favorite niece or nephew, and they are wreaking havoc in your home. And when you say that you want something done, when they want money and you don't give it to them, they get real angry. And a peace order and a protective order may be necessary. So you need to know where you go and what to do. Mr. Bates, we're going to let Mr. Bates kind of interject real quick because we have, I remember he was over there and I said, oh, he's with the Waxer Center team. I'll wait. He's ready now. We have annually, and I'm sorry, Kathleen, every year that we have done this luncheon, we have presented the Jack Young Champion Award, an award to someone who is taking an active participation in supporting the older adult community, that is supporting our seniors where they are and our older adults, and is advocating for our older adults. This year, Mr. Bates wants to present his honoree.
First of all, I want to thank, once again, Sherry Green. I want to thank all the members of Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office. You know, one of the very important things we try to do is we try to do the luncheon. Everyone say hello, catch up, spend time, hear speakers. But really, you know, we've gotten some of your questions, and they're up here answering some of the questions that other people from your communities have reached out and given to us. So we want to help you avoid being a victim of crime. So for me, this award means an awful lot because it's about what you do and you give back. And this particular person, I've had the privilege of knowing a number of years. So when you're trying to run for a citywide office, you have to know everybody in the city. You may not know everybody in the city, but you need to know certain people in certain neighborhoods. And once you know certain people in certain neighborhoods, then little by little by little, they get the word out on who you are and what you're going to do. So when I was running, I met this person, and we had a couple conversations. I do understand this person loves cocoa crab cakes. I also understand that this person was a school teacher, and you could definitely tell because she does not play. But she definitely loves Bel Air Edison. She loves her community, and she loves her Sigma Angels. So will Miss Rita Cruz please come on up? Because everybody knows Miss Rita. The work that she does in her community is absolutely amazing. Miss Rita, if you've never been to her community meetings, she runs it. She makes sure that they're punctual, that you do what you need to do. But she does so much for the children of everybody in her community. She is a tireless advocate for the older adults, not just in her community, but everywhere around the city. She really is the type of person that when I look at, I truly admire. I hope that I am the person you have become to my community when it's my opportunity and time. Thank you, Ms. Rita. So come on up. Here it is, from the Office of State's Attorney, Baltimore City Honors, Rita Cruz, with former Mayor Bernard C. Jack Young Champion Award 2025, recognizing her leadership and service to Baltimore City's older adult community. Thank you, Ms. Rita.
I have my Cliff Notes up here with me. Thank you for this incredible honor. I am so grateful to receive the Mayor Bernard C. Jack Young Champion Award for 2025 from you, State's Attorney Bates, and your staff. Although my grandparents are no longer with me, their passion and love for older adults and the community live within me. I don't do the work I do for acknowledgement, awards, citations, or kudos, but a genuine love for my community. I thank my family and political family, Delegate Addison, for the love and support you give me to help others. Thank you, my Silver Angels, for allowing me to be the mouthpiece of our organization. Can you stand, Silver Angels, please? I know some of you, yeah, I see you over there. Again, thank you, State's Attorney Bates, for the Mayor Bernard C. Jack Young Champion Award 2025, and everyone involved for this unforgettable honor. Thank you.
Everybody give her a hand. Thank you so much, Ms. Rita.
really appreciate you, Miss Rita, and all that you do and the Silver Angels. It's been great working with you and getting to know you in the community. There is a bio for Miss Rita in our program and for your perusal at the appropriate time. I had to correct one thing here. I had said, I acknowledged one of my colleagues, Jennifer McAllister, is the acting chief of Special Victims Unit, but as of yesterday evening, she is the permanent division chief of the 6th SVU unit. Congratulations to her. She has had a long and productive career serving in the state's attorney's office, testifying before the state legislature, advocating for laws that help us to prosecute crimes involving children, of crimes, of sexual crimes, domestic violence crimes. And we need people doing this work, but it is a tiring and draining work. It is a serious work that they do, and I admire her and I wish her very well. We're going to ask her colleague, team captain of Special Victims Unit, Kathleen Coffey, to come first for the peace order and protective orders, where to find them and what it means. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Yay. Okay, this room is huge, and y'all are super intimidating, okay? But I really appreciate how well you have been giving everybody your attention, taking care of each other, and taking care of the people in this room. That's why we're here, because we want to serve our community and take care of you. What Ms. Green has asked me to speak to y'all about is a little bit adjacent to what I normally do. I work on behalf of Mr. Bates' office. I run... Oh, I'm sorry. Better? Thank you. I'm going to keep my eye on you, and you're going to keep me honest. Love it. Okay, I run the domestic violence misdemeanor courtroom, and I do that over at the East Side Courthouse. Is everybody familiar with East Side? All right, everybody remember when it was a Sears? Okay, so my office is in what was the storage room. Very, very exciting. But what we also do at East Side is we are where you are getting peace and protective orders. So I did see a handful of hands pop up when Ms. Green asked if anybody had to get a peace or protective order before. This is not a fun experience. It is not an easy experience. If you find yourself needing a peace or protective order, the last thing you need is to be turned around, confused, and frustrated. I'm sorry to tell you that the process is confusing and frustrating, and it is super easy to get turned around. Okay? So the first thing I want you to know, if you need a peace or protective order, you can file for one 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If you heard Mr. Dickman say our new courthouse is opening on Tuesday, October 14th, it's going to be on Calvert Street. If you have gone past it recently, you can see the construction scaffolds are coming down, furniture's going in. It's gorgeous, y'all. It's full of glass and windows, and it's going to be state-of-the-art. That is where the 24-hour court commissioner is going to be when it opens. But today is September 18th, right? So we've got another month before we get that 24-hour commissioner there. Do you know where the 24-hour commissioner is right now? Okay, you're going to 1 North Charles. You're going there at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. You're going there on Rosh Hashanah. You're going there on Sunday morning. You're going there whenever you need to go there, okay? Because that is your 24-hour commissioner. In addition to that, if you need a court commissioner for anything during regular business hours, you're going to your district courts. You're going to the Wabash District Court, you're going to the district court on Patapsco, or you're coming to see us over at Eastside. If you have to go to the commissioner at Eastside, has anybody here been to the court commissioner at Eastside? I don't see a single hand, and I'm not surprised. You know why? Was there one? Where were you? All right. Do you know how to find it? The court commissioner at Eastside is buried in the basement in the furthest corner there is. You would not believe that the building continues there. Literally, there is a wall that makes it look like there is no office. You have to have faith. You have to go down. You have to go around. You have to go downstairs. You have to keep going around. But they are there. And that's what I'm talking about when it's confusing and frustrating. It feels like those resources don't exist not as easy to access as they could be. I did print out some forms, and Ms. Green is going to have them available to go on the website later. If you go to mdcourts.gov, that is our Maryland State Courts website, they are trying to make these processes easier. They have forms to explain, a 3-page form that'll explain to you exactly what a peace order is, exactly what a protective order is. There's one that will give you a list of service providers if you need a service provider for domestic violence emergency services. This is all at mdcourts.gov. It's a great resource. I would like you all to take advantage of it. I'm going to give you the quick down and dirty on what you need to know if you're coming to Eastside, okay? If you are coming to Eastside to file a peace or protective order, you are coming in on the ground floor, but it's the second floor. Don't let that confuse you. You're coming in, you're saying hi to the bailiffs at the metal detector, and you're going right downstairs. Downstairs in the basement, which they call the first floor, you're going to a clerk's office, which is room 162. They're going to have a form for you to fill out. You just need to write down what happened, why you need the order, and who you need it against. They're going to walk you through it from there. They're going to take the form, they're going to send you to a courtroom, the judge is going to walk you through it. If you didn't put all the stuff on the form, tell the judge, I think I didn't do everything on the form, I wasn't sure, the form was confusing, because trust me, it is. The judge will help you. The judge will ask you questions to make sure that you get the order that you need, and they'll walk you through that process. If you haven't been through the process before, it has lots of little sticky little details to make it as complicated and frustrating as possible. For instance, you're in a courtroom, you're now back up on the ground floor, which we call the second floor. Judge has told you that your order is granted. Do you think they hand it to you and you get to leave? No, you have to go back downstairs. So you have to take yourself back downstairs to go get your copy of the order, and then that order has to be served in order for it to be valid. The reason for that is if you have to go get a peace or protective order, you're going directly to a judge. If you're doing it in the middle of the night, you're going directly to a court commissioner, and it's just you and that judge or that court commissioner, and you're saying, I have a problem. My partner, my child, my niece, my nephew, my neighbor is a threat to me, they are a danger to me, and I need them to stay away from me. They don't know that you're there, and we don't want them to know that you're there because we want you to be safe while you're in the courthouse or while you're at the commissioner's office. But in order for the court to protect you, they have to give them notice that they're not allowed to talk to you anymore, or they have to leave your house, or they're not allowed to call you anymore, all of those things. You can't just go find them and say, here's a piece of paper, the court said you have to leave me alone. That wouldn't be very safe, and that's not how we do it. There is an entire unit of the sheriff's office whose whole job it is just to serve those orders. But the best way to help them do it and do it quickly is when you have to go back downstairs to get your copy, go right across the hall. You'll see the big star on the wall for Sam Cogan's sheriff's office. Go speak to their advocates. That will help them find the person quickly, get them served, and get you through the process as quickly as possible. What we want is for you to be able to access the court, access the safety things that you need so that you can get value from your court. We're here every day trying to serve you. We don't want to make it any harder than it has to be, okay? The other thing you need to know about peace and protective orders, we do a great job prosecuting criminal cases. We've been doing it for a really long time, and we're really, really good at it. But there are some things you can get from a peace and protective order that you can't get from a criminal case. When you file for a peace or protective order, it is you versus the other person. You are going to a judge and asking for certain things, but it is tailor-made to what you're asking for. So if you want that person not to come to the house, but they still need to pay the mortgage, you can ask for that. It's called emergency family maintenance. If you want them to still be able to come to the front part of the house, but not upstairs to the bedrooms, you literally can ask for that. I have seen peace and protective orders that said from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., this person can't be in the TV room. Like, it can be so very specific and tailored to what you want. So we want to make sure you know it's out there. We want to make sure you're able to access those resources. Sorry, I don't have a fancy PowerPoint, but I think I've had everybody's attention. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to hand the microphone back to the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. PowerPoints aren't always working. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But I heard it get quiet in here. I heard you listen, and I appreciate it. Now, we're going to have a commercial break right now. And before too many of you go, here's what I want to know. I want to find out who's the oldest in here. Do we have anyone who is 100 years old or older? Okay, let's go down to 99. Oh, wait a minute, we got 100? Mr. Bates? Mr. Bates? We have a 100-year-old here, and we think these flowers would be perfect for her. Well, I'm calling out the name. Maybe she's it. Yeah. I'm told it's off 101. I am amazed at your tenacity and your longevity, and I'm so glad you were able to come out with us today. What can we have our senior, older adult? What is her name? Edna Williams? Williamson. Edna Williamson. Miss Williamson, we're so glad to see you. So glad to see you. God bless you. All right, we had 101. We got any hundreds? Got any 99s? Okay, 98. 97. I feel like an auctioneer. 96. Okay, we keep going. 95. What's that? 95. Come on up here, fine gentlemen. Okay, Mr. Bates. All right, we're going to call Mr. Bates again. We got a 95-year-old coming up here. You cannot, I think this is a fraud. This is a fraud. I ain't been doing fraud investigation for nothing. This is not 95. No, it's not. You got ID? I don't know. I don't trust it. 1930. You do it too fast. Okay, you 95, but you look about 65. What are you doing? Girl, you need to tell me what your menu is. What you eating? What you doing? You looking good. He will do it, won't he? I know you look very good. Thank you for being here with us today. What was your name, sir?
Joseph Beasley.
Joseph Beasley. Well, thank you, Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bates, where you at? Oh, Mr. Bates. We need you one more time for a picture. Huh? Oh, let me take your, yeah, I want to take a picture of Mr. Bates. I'm going to take this out. You don't need this phone. Here you go. But there you go. Yeah, here he comes. Here he comes. Go take a picture. Bates. Yeah, Mr. Bates. There he is. There he is. Mr. Beasley is 95. We want to thank Flowers by Chris for their donations of these beautiful bouquets. We told them it was for our older adults, and they were glad to participate in our program. So we want to send a shout out to Flowers by Chris. Please don't forget them if you're over on East Eager Street and need some flowers. All right. We had some drawings we're going to take real quick commercial break. We're going to give you a couple handouts, but we're not going to give them all because you got to finish. Shut up. You got to finish what we're doing. We got some good information for you. Got one drawing. You got your tickets out? Got to be here to win. All right. 698931. 931 is the last three numbers. 931. You got 931? Six nine eight nine 31. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll do one more. Oh, that can't be right there. Oh no, I see. Okay, 698719. 8719. 8719. Table number 40. Read the numbers to me. What you got? 698719. There we go. Got another winner. All right, we're going to do the next presentation first. The next presentation is the new division chief of the SDU unit, Jennifer McAllister.
Thank you very much. So, you heard from Ms. Copsey about peace and protective orders. Now, of course, you probably heard that lawyers, you hate lawyers because we're so picky about things. I'm here to talk to you about the laws in reference to vulnerable adults. And it's funny because I was talking to my mother on my way in this morning, telling her what I was doing today. And she says to me, she goes, I feel like I'm vulnerable. And we all know, as we're getting older, and I'm getting older, that we feel more vulnerable as we get older. That walking down the street, if somebody were to come up to us, we don't know how we would react. And I'm speaking for myself as well. That we aren't as fast, that we aren't able to do that. Our brains don't work quite as quickly as they used to. But the reason we hate lawyers is lawyers are very picky. So while we all may feel more vulnerable than we used to be considered vulnerable adult, that means an adult who lacks the physical or mental capacity to provide for that adult's daily needs. Okay? That's the legal definition. And in a vulnerable adult case, there must be a special relationship to the person who is committing the acts upon the vulnerable adult. And that special relationship is someone who is a caretaker, a family member, or a household member. Okay? Also, when we're looking at vulnerable adult abuse, again, we all think we know what abuse is, but there's a legal definition. And so the legal definition is, for abuse, means sustaining of a physical pain or injury by the vulnerable adult as a result of cruel or inhumane treatment, as a result of a malicious act under circumstances that indicate that the vulnerable adult's health or welfare is harmed or threatened. What everyone must also needs to understand, that includes sexual assault and sexual abuse. So, what I want everyone to understand is even if you do not fit the category of vulnerable, if a crime is committed against you, if you are assaulted, if a sexual assault upon you, a physical assault upon you, please, please, please don't think, well, Ms. McAllister stood here and she said that I don't fit the definition of vulnerable. These are only elements of crime, or of a specific crime. You would still be a victim of the assault, of the property crimes that might be committed, of the sexual abuse. And we are still here to represent you, the victims of this city, and to seek justice for you. As Ms. Green stated earlier, our general trial unit will prosecute those cases. My unit will prosecute those sexual assault cases. My unit will prosecute these vulnerable adult abuse cases. So we are here. I don't want you to worry whether you fit the category before you call 911 as Mr. Dickman told you to call. Because you need help, call the police. We will figure out what the crimes committed against you were, and we will prosecute and we will seek justice for you. So if you have a family member who has someone within their house that you believe are being abused in some way, check up on them. Reach out to the police if you get confirmation, and start the process rolling. It isn't easy. We know it's not easy. Criminal justice system is not set up for victims, it's set up for defendants. But we are trained on how to make sure that we get justice for every person in this room if you are a victim. And at some point you'll hear from my colleague, Miss Amanda Grantham, who works with our victims and witness unit, who assists us in making sure that every person who is a victim of crime in Baltimore City gets the information that they need and know when to come to court. So at that, I'm going to step back because otherwise I'd just be reading the law to you and you'd want to shoot me. So have a nice day, and thank you for having us.
Thank you, thank you. All right, in your program, we did put in some who to call, know who to call. At the very top, because we are the sponsor of this luncheon, we did put our toll-free number, 1-844-726-6378. When you call that number, you can leave us a message. We're there during business hours, but we do call back. So if it's an emergency, don't call us. But if you don't think somebody's hearing you and you don't know where else to go, then call us so we can get you on track of where you need to go. But when you call that number, you may even talk to Miss Angel White or myself or one of my team so that we can get you where you need to go. Before we go too much farther, the next commercial break is you remember the case I just talked about where the young lady stole her grandmother's money? Well, we learned about that case from our first annual luncheon. We mentioned it the last time. Now we've gotten a conviction, and Miss Florine Robinson and her husband are here. She came to our first luncheon, and she learned about what we do here, and she came up to us and said, I think my mother was a victim. And so we want to give you a gift because Miss Florine has been a champion. She logged on to the parole hearing. She followed up with all of our questions, all of the things we needed her to do so that she could get justice for her mother even after her mother had passed. And so we are so glad that she was able to trust us with her mother's legacy and what happened to her mother. All right. We could not take questions from everybody because it's too large a group, but we did send out to some of the leaders for questions. A lot of them are more, they're not really criminal questions. So if there is a question in the audience right now about the kinds of cases we've talked about. Does anybody have a question about the type of criminal prosecutions we've talked about? Good. So now we're going to do the rest of our drawings, and then I have a couple of closing remarks. All right. Who's got your tickets out? Got your tickets out? Okay, this one tore so bad I really can't see it. I don't think I can read. I don't think I can read it. I have to try another. Yeah, it's too ripped. Sorry. So the last three digits are 857. 857. 857 698 857. Got your ticket? 698 857. What's the number that was it. That gift box didn't go to them. Let's go to the next. Oh, we got somebody? There we go. We got a winner. Winner. 206. All right, next one. 698 628 628 628. Anybody have 628? All right, I heard somebody say 628. Yes, ma'am. I saw that. I didn't take them apart yet. That, no. 628, not 6. No. Turn around. 698 208. Mine was 698 628 628. Okay. All right, next one, next ticket. Okay, 698 638 638 638 is the last three numbers. 638. Nope. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. All right, before we do that, I'm going to ask Amanda Grantham to come up and we thin to her so she won't have such a big crowd to talk to. And she can talk about her victim services a little bit so you know what to expect when you do become a victim and you need some help with transportation. You need some help with knowing what courthouse to go to. You need some help with the wheelchair access. Ms. Grantham's people are there for you.
Hello, everyone. So yes, Sherry is right. It's thinned out a little bit, so I feel a little bit better being up here in front of all of you. But I'm just here today to talk to you a little bit about the Victim Witness Division and what we do. So our division is pretty much, I refer to us as the heart of the Victim Witness Division. We are here simply to support you. If you are a victim, I know we talk about victims all the time, but if you were a witness as well, we are here to take care of you. We want to make sure that you get to court. As Chief Green said, I think sometimes we call ourselves the travel agents. We do a little bit of everything. The cruise director, maybe, of the state's attorney's office. We can get you a cab. We can get you an Uber. We can help you with, just making sure you find the right courtroom. We want to make sure that you know everything that's going on before you come to court. Sometimes a lot of people's hesitancies coming to court simply are because we don't know what to expect. So we have a great team. We have an amazing team of victim witness coordinators. They are housed in the circuit court and district court buildings, and they are there simply to assist you. It doesn't matter. There is no silly question that comes into victim witness. That's what we're here for. So if you ever have any reason to believe that you may need assistance coming to court, please reach out to us. What you can usually expect is the prosecutors will get your cases and things like that. Victim witness is the one that usually reaches out with the first initial letter. We will send you something to say, hey, we're trying to reach out to you. We are your coordinator. We are here to assist you. Some other little things that we do, they're not really little, but we have different programs. One of the big things that we also do in victim witness is we have a completely separate relocation unit. So at any time, if anybody is afraid, you feel feel threatened because you are a victim or a witness, please do not be afraid. Please reach out. We have a whole team that's able to help and aid and assist you with relocation. The other part we also have is we have a family bereavement unit. So anybody that has lost somebody due to violence in Baltimore City, we have our in-house therapist, Miss Kim Holmes, which I know she was floating around here and met a lot of you today, and she knows a lot of you through the community. She is here. She is able to do one-on-one counseling sessions. So if that is you, please do not hesitate to reach out. Oh, look, see, it's the same lady, right? Keeping me honest. So really, victim witness is simply there to support you. Anything that you would need as a victim or a witness, please call us. You can use the hotline to get to us. Our information is on the website. You can get to us. Nothing is too silly to call and ask about. We are there to be that bridge. We are there to support you through the system that everybody up here has talked about how long and grueling it can be. And we don't want it to be like that for you guys. We want it to make it as easy as we can. We know that it's not always going to be easy. So we try our best to do the little things to support anyone and everyone that comes through our courthouses. So that's victim witness. If anybody, we are around, if anybody has questions or you have concerns or you actually have an active case right now, I will be floating around. Please don't hesitate to come up and chat with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Amanda. She's been so kind to be here today. She had other commitments and she rearranged them to be here. Amanda supervises a fairly large team because, as you may imagine, Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office has quite few cases coming through, and there are all kinds of victims. What I will do, since I have time, one of the questions was, what can we do for economic crimes that are affecting our citizens? Well, one is that we come out. So if you have a group and you'd like us to come, reach out on that phone number, talk to Angel White, and she will schedule a time for us to come out. This past year, we incorporated teaming up with Baltimore City Police Department's community liaison team, so that when we came out, a lot of times there were questions about how things were being policed in the community that we can't answer because we don't have authority over that. We don't oversee that. We also had some questions about certain services that come to this community, the water bill, different things like that. We don't oversee those things, and so we're not able to give you answers at this venue and this time. I will say that there are other ways that we can help you. I know we had representation from the mayor's office today, and Ms. Andoria does a wonderful job of making sure that if you have trouble with services in your community as an older adult, that she gets city resources to you. We can always make that referral for you. So now on to the next drawing. Yeah, they can come. What's going on? Yeah, and also like. All right, our next one is 698-473. 698-473. 473. Yeah, we got a winner. Winner. This is doing pretty good. Oh, okay. I must say, ma'am, what is this lady's name, Angel? 698-473. Miss Denise, the whole panel up here said that they noticed your outfit and thought you looked fab. And then those of us that didn't notice the outfit noticed the hair, and we thought that looked fab. So in other words, we're just a fan. We just want to let you know. All right, the next one. What are you talking about? Okay, the next one, the last three numbers are 262. 262 at the end. 262. 262. Aha! Here we go. Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, before we go any further, I want to thank Amanda Grantham and other members of the Victim Advocacy and External Affairs with Hassan Giordano. Both of them worked on getting our gift bags together with us. They helped us out in getting that organized. Their teams have been here helping us with registration. It is really a state's attorney's office effort, and I don't want those division chiefs and leaders to know, not leave here and not know how much I am grateful to them for their help. The next one is 694, strike that, 294. Use my courtroom term, strike that. 294, 29. And any 294? There you are. You ended up sitting at your table alone, but you waited it out. See that? Okay. So fast. It's 294. Sorry, darling. Okay, last one. 018. 018. 018. Okay, we're going to go on to the next one. 946. 946. Hey, there we go. Fabulous. Fabulous. I want to say thank you to my team. I want to say thank you to Angel White. Let's give her another round of applause while she's up here. This woman works tirelessly. She's a creative. She's an organizer. She is my left hand and right hand when it comes to this unit, and I so appreciate her. I want to thank Mr. Bates for allowing us to take the lead on this and do this. We're one of the smallest units he has. I don't know if we're the smallest, but we're one of the smallest. To have a big impact, and I thank you. If you need us, somebody's stealing your money, they're stealing your friend's money, it doesn't sound right, it don't look right, call us and we'll see what we can do to help you. At this point, we are closing out our program. If you want pictures with Mr. Bates and you didn't get one, you can come up to the front right up here. We're going to put the groups up here so he can take pictures with you and have group pictures. We'll direct him up there. You go to him instead of us sending him to you. How about that? Anyone else who wants to has questions or anything, I do have some of my investigators here that they can step up and give you a help if you need it. Thank you. Be safe on the way home. I thank this team. Oh, guys, we didn't have big questions. We made it through. Can we have the Shiloh Church and Southern and Morning Star? Can you all come out to the front before you leave? We want to grab a picture with you, please.